Hey students, and welcome back. Aaron here. I will be going over our final portfolio. So if you recognize this room, I'm on campus today. I'm in the technology building here on our Taylorsville campus. Doing some teaching and have a break, so I thought I would make our video here. But I'm going to shrink down into the corner now, and I want to go over a few things for this final portfolio. So previously, we used this to create a board for our kind of dream home. But here things will be a little bit different, and I'll explain there's more nuances here we need to watch out for, especially with InDesign. So I'll hold your hand through the process. And then keep in mind for this video, I actually won't have any instructions down below, just because it is just so incredibly detailed and really needs to be shown via video. So if you need to slow me down, please do so. But I created actually an example for you, and it's annotated. So I wrote all of my annotations in orange, which are tips. So please, please, please absolutely underline size 50 font. Look at this, okay? Because this is essentially your cheat sheet. This is your answer for the whole project. So make sure to read these and look at all of my tips, because this will help you, okay? I promise. And then just make sure to read this, okay? And then I wanted to be nice to this group of students because we have a portfolio class, so you'll learn more about InDesign there. And for me, it was important to give you a template to make this process faster, especially since we're at the end of the semester. So I'm going to download this template, and we'll have to do quite a bit of work, but I will show you what's going on here. And I'll go over a couple things that students tend to miss, and we will dive into it. So download that InDesign file. And if you have any questions on downloading InDesign, make sure to look at that beginning module orientation, because I cover that. And I am actually going to open my completed file so you can see where I came from and kind of what was going on. So please ignore this messy desktop. I back everything up, and this is just kind of a dumping grounds for now. Okay, so here is, this looks like it is my example, okay? So it's without, okay, so it has the annotations in it, so we can just ignore that the orange is there. But you can see here, I took my time with it and made sure it looked neat. So InDesign functions a lot like Photoshop, except we have our Pages tab here. And we won't need to add any pages, mess with any settings, I did that all for you. If you have any issues, go ahead and message me or whoever your current instructor may be, and we'll take care of you. But just a few things here I want to talk about. So if you notice, I have a nice font here, and I used Adobe font. So if you remember from our Kodak project, I have instructions in there on using Adobe font. So make sure to do that, because it does make a difference. Selecting a nice, clean, and modern font is super important. And I'm just going to go over what we have here. So I outlined everything for you, so please keep this table of contents and page numbers. I set everything up for you, and make sure to just replace all of this with your information. You'll notice in your template version, it's a little different. And that's because I want you to pick the fonts, and I want you to do all of that, okay? And so back here, you'll see, if I go down to the coffee shop, I have my tips too, so make sure to look at those. But we have our coffee shop project, and you'll be putting yours on both pages. It's called a spread. Then down here, we'll do our beach home, and then 3 mini images. Okay, and you can always push W on your keyboard if you want to like a cleaner view without the grid lines. I added grid lines here to help you. I thought it would be helpful. And then here for our restaurant design, on the left and then on the right, we'll do the chair scene. And you'll see here I just noted which spread it was on. Hostel lobby, you'll put 3 snippet details on the left, and on the right, you'll put the big one, okay? And then same here for Kodak office design, except we're putting in our examples. Not examples, our former vintage photos we made. And then finally, we'll have our final project, poster, mood board, and all of that. So I'm going to, and then contact information at the end. So make sure to look at my tips. Okay, I'm going to walk you through this, and we will kind of do it piece by piece. So if I want to change the font, what I'll do here is I can just select all this text, go here under properties, and then I can change all my sizing. And one thing I want to point out is that we have, if you hover over here, it'll tell you or sorry, excuse me, if you click here, you can change the spacing, the verticality between the lines. You can see that's more scrunched, etc. I set it to something that made sense, and same with the text size, so no need to mess with the text size. One thing I would recommend though is if you're using the same font for all of this, just make sure that your titles are bolded, and it just makes it feel more hierarchy involved and gives us a better sense of scale. And you'll put your logo that we made, okay? And then a picture of yourself, keep it professional, please. And then tell us a little bit about it. So make sure not to copy what I wrote. We need to have your own words. And then we'll put our elevation here, beach home design, and you can just delete these. These are meant for you. And if you want to stray a bit from the layout, you're welcome to do so. But we need to have those 3 detail shots. So if you wanted to try something else, totally fine. But I'm going to show you how to put in a photo. So that's the big thing we need to do. Okay, so when we put in a photo, I will just minimize this a bit. Excuse the messy desktop, but I'm going to put in my elevation here. Okay, and then if I click, so I just drag it in there, and I click once, and then I can hold down and slide with my finger on my trackpad or mouse. Okay, and then super important here, incredibly important, I can't stress this enough, the most important thing of this video, so please pay attention, eyes up here, is when I'm increasing or decreasing the size here, my blue bounding box is going to crop that. So I just can't do that if I want it bigger or smaller. What I need to do is I actually need to do Shift Command and hold down that corner or Shift Control for our PC friends. And you see how I can do that. And it may also be Shift Alt, it just depends. Just check on your PC, see which one works. That is super important, okay? And then if I have extra white space I don't want, I can simply just pull my blue bounding box, okay? So the blue bounding is a lot like a crop. And you know what, I necessarily don't need my Blue Duck design logo in here. You can keep it if you would like, but you can see I just pull on any tab and make sure absolutely do Shift Command or Shift Control and make that larger. Okay, that's how we do that. And then what else I want to show you is that I'll show you how to send items to the back. So I will right click and I will go to Arrange, Send to Back, okay? And the same works with Send to Front as well. So those are a few essential tools you'll need. I'm just going to get you familiar with the layout. We did this a bit in our last video. I like to keep this short and sweet, but I also realize this is a new software for you. All of these tools, incredibly similar to Photoshop. I don't really need to spend too much time on those. These ones like Gap Tool, Content Collector, Page Tool, this is just my experience as an interior designer. Me and my colleagues don't tend to use those. We really rely on this arrow here and our type tool. So this right here, direct selection tool, that's if I drew a really crazy shape like an amoeba and I wanted to go and edit the anchor points, I could do that. But for all intents and purposes here, we really don't need that. But what I'd like you to do is start with the cover and absolutely make sure to look at my example because I literally give you the answers. It's all there, okay? And then no need to, you can change the location of this if you want, and you know, the paragraph style if you want it centered, etc. But I want you to pay attention to alignment of items like I have in my example. Just make sure things are nice, neat, and clean and precise. I do have a lot of extra lines in here, and I just do that. You can delete them, but I just, to show your ruler, do Command R or Control R, but I just hold down and drag, okay? And that gives me a little guide, and these guides don't print, okay? And if I want to hide those, I just click W, all right? That's really all there is to it. And then I did all the page numbers for you, and the page numbers are what are called parent pages, formerly called master pages. I believe that changed in 2021, but you just click the pages tab here. So I set this all up, so no need to worry here. And you go into parent tab, and these page numbers are automatic. So it's already set up for you. You just need to double click here and change that to your full name or last name. And the cool thing about this, I'll just get a little nerdy on you, is this right here, I went to object, or excuse me, it was under, I believe it's under some sort of type tool. We can go under, yes, so type and insert special character. And we can do our markers, and we can do current page number. Okay, and that's how we do it. Okay, and then so just update that and make sure to, we don't need to put our name on every like left and right side, just on the left side. And then you just go back here. So you can see here, I have your page numbers in. Just go ahead and update your font, add a picture of yourself. Again, make sure it's appropriate. You'd feel comfortable with a future employer seeing that. So that's how we do that, okay? And then we may upload our PDF to Canvas for our peers. Stay tuned, just make sure to look at the instructions. It might vary based on your instructor, but make sure to add a little bit about your project, okay? Tell me a little bit. Read this description on kind of what I'm looking from you, what I'm looking for from you. And if you need to, you can just change the width of this to better fit where your image goes, okay? And you'll notice I like to align my images to the top of my text. You'll see that in my example. That's pretty normal. So that, honestly, that really covers the basics here. I made these little rulers for you in the master sheets, or excuse me, the parent sheets. So that's there. So you don't need to play with that or mess with it, but that's all there for you. Okay, and I want to show you how we'll be exporting. So export is Command E or Control E, and we'll export as a PDF, and I'll just save to my desktop. I'll just call it Portfolio Canvas Video Example. And so super important here, all right? This looks scary and complex, but I promise there's only like 2 buttons you need. Spreads, always, because we want those spreads, okay? And we want to do just all right here, okay? And then if I have you posted on a website below, I'll have different instructions that might vary a bit on a later module page, but just for the PDF itself, export as spreads, please. And then we will go to compression, and I just want to set everything to 200. Anything under 200 or over 200 for digital is quite excessive. 200 is already great, okay? And then we'll just hit export. And then, just me being an InDesign nerd, is I like to go to Window, Utilities, Background Tasks, then it will tell me if it's still exporting. And you know what? It already exported. It was that quick. And so if I go to my desktop and I take a look at it, it'll show me what's going on. So it looks like I don't have it. I could have saved it in the wrong spot. So just make sure to double check that happens a little bit. So if I go to export, you can see I actually saved it to my downloads. Oops, InDesign likes to do that. So it's actually, I'm glad I made that mistake so I could show you. So if I go to my downloads, it's right here. And do you see that? It looks like a nice little magazine spread. Okay, and that's how we do it. It's pretty simple. Please be creative with this. Please look at my example. I poured a ton of time into that to really give you the tools to succeed. So please look at that. If you have any questions, absolutely message me or whomever your current instructor may be, and we will take care of you. But just a few parting tips. Again, look at that example, the annotated example. Remember hierarchy of text, so make sure to bold those titles. And then, just be neat and clean and make sure everything aligns, all right? And if you need to, please rewind this video. That's why it's taped for a reason. Slow me down, do whatever you need to do. And then also one thing I want to show you, super important. If your settings don't look like mine, go to Window, Workspace, and then we can go to Reset Essentials, just like Photoshop. Okay, all right, so stay tuned for the final steps. I'll have additional Canvas pages, but seriously, thank you so much. If I was your instructor, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm very proud of all of you and everything you've done. And if you have another instructor, thanks for bearing with me and dealing with, my videos. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for taking digital graphics for interior design. It's been an absolute pleasure, and